Today I just thought we'd have a look at the NECA Conan the Barbarian figures, which I purchased around 15 years ago. And when I purchased them, they were quite a reasonable price. Now they're worth a little bit more. You can still put them up on eBay, but you will spend a little bit more money for them if you want them in your collection. One thing that I've always loved about NECA is that they get the likeness down to a T on most of the figures. And in my opinion, especially when it comes to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think some of the first lines I actually purchased off NECA were the Terminator figures. Let me just grab one. You see, this is how unprepared I am. This is the NECA Terminator figure which I first started off with. This was from Terminator 2. And I remember back in the day, I was just blown away with the likeness of Arnold Schwarzenegger on it. And that is something they captured with the Conan the Barbarian figures as well. The likeness of Arnold Schwarzenegger is undeniable. They are really good at getting the likeness right on these NECA figures. They really are. When I first started collecting, I told myself I was only going to go for movie lines. That was all. As you can see, I got a little bit carried away over the years. But when I started off, I was purposely going for movie lines. So I was purchasing the Conan figures, the Terminator figures, Alien. I purchased Predator figures, anything that was involved in a movie. And then, like I said, over time that gradually swayed the other way, and I started collecting more or less anything that took my fancy. One thing I've always loved about NECA up until this day is their attention to detail. You cannot fault them on their attention to detail. It is out of this world, it really is. Even when it comes down to the accessories that you get in the boxes as well, the attention to detail is astounding. Even looking at this figure now, the amount of detail they've put into this figure's clothing is out of this world. And they are screen accurate. They are really good. I'm not one of those collectors who go for absolutely everything when they bring a line out. There were a few other figures in this line that I decided not to go for because, to me, when I watched the film, these are the two most iconic figures from the film. The same goes with Terminators. Even though I have got a lot of Terminators, there are some that I have opted not to get because I tend to just get the ones that mean more to me from the movie. I love both these figures, but this one I would say holds a special place in my heart. I really do like this figure. It's really well detailed. It's got this little diorama on it as well, straight from the film, where he's just tipped over the human soup, let's say, and the little heads and the hands all pour down the steps as well. NECA even including that. And this is in the early days of NECA. I would say they are even more efficient when it comes to providing little extras with the figures these days. Now, when I was a kid, one of the first Arnold Schwarzenegger movies I saw was obviously Terminator. But after that, I saw a film called Conan the Destroyer, and I had no idea at the time that it was actually a sequel to the film Conan the Barbarian. I do enjoy that film, but Conan the Barbarian is the better film out of the two. And these scenes that NECA did are so accurate, it's unreal. Now, the only thing I would say is not 100% accurate on this figure is that in the film he was wearing white war paint, and on the figure you can actually see that there are signs of white war paint on his skin, but it isn't as prominent as it is in the movie. But that doesn't ruin this figure for me at all. The detail on this The detail on this collector's figurine is unbelievable. It's just out of this world. And like I said before, the likeness of Arnold Schwarzenegger is 100% on point. When it comes to catching the likeness of the character, I don't think anybody do it better than NECA, apart from maybe Hot Toys. But NECA, for the price range, are out of this world when it comes to capturing the likeness, apart from maybe Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Ever since being a kid, I've loved Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Ever since being a kid, I've loved the Conan the Barbarian films. And I'm just so glad to have them in my collection, and I hope you enjoyed this video today.